and this is where it will take a kind of like a turn, a serious turn, but it's okay because I'm comfortable talking about these things. Like I was suicidal last year. Like there was times where I was just like, I don't want to live anymore. Like I'm over this. I'm
Hmm.
over how this feels. I'm over the public perception, the public scrutiny. I'm over how my signals seem off in my mind, and plus I'm drinking every single day. So to be able to be going through such a dark time. I cannot go back on that stage and
Yeah.
be Doughboy. For the first time, I've got to be Anthony. For the first time, I can't just go up there and rely on jokes. People don't even identify with those things, you know what I'm saying? With everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I have to be able to go on stage, talk about the uncomfortable things. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because I
Mhm.
think that that's what, you know, I'm trying to turn my mess into my message. You know what I'm saying? So I just really want to be able to take things that I've seen and done, and it just has to unfold on the stage in a real way. But it can no longer be an act, and I got to take the mask off. So
I like that. And this is a perfect transition. So I want to talk about the people who've been watching you for, let's just say, the past 5 or even 10 years.
okay.
What transition are you trying to make? Because you used to, be a character.
Mm-hmm.
And now where do you want to go? I don't want to guide your answer, but
No, you're good. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that have changed for me in all of this time. So, there's been, you know, three things that have been working this entire time that any of these things could have seriously hurt me or damaged me in life. One was the drinking thing. Like drinking has been a problem really for the first 5 years. You know, for the last 5 years. Like it's been a serious problem. And it happened from the second thing that has always haunted me is my weight. Because I got weight loss surgery. I got the gastric sleeve January 8th, 2015. So when I got that, I didn't take my mental health seriously.
so you were saying that your doctor was
Uh,
recommending therapy,
They
but I
recommended therapy before I even got the surgery. They were like,
okay.
listen, this turns people into pill heads, alcoholics. Please, there is a reason you're eating and it got you up to 486
Mm,
pounds. You need to go talk to somebody. I'm like, shut up.
that the
Shut up.
weight was just a symptom of a bigger
It
problem.
was
Okay.
exactly. And so I didn't take that seriously. So I got the surgery and I lost the weight. But then, okay, so cool. So then these are the four things that really have been plaguing me, right?
Okay.
So one was the drinking. Okay. Two was the weight. Three was the dumbing down of Doughboy. So what
Mm,
does that mean by the dumbing down of Doughboy? When I first got on Wild 'N Out, I was 450 pounds, right? I was a fat guy. In my mind, you know what I mean? Maybe they were booking me because of my great talent. In my mind, I'm like, I'm the fat guy. So I got to do fat jokes.
mm,
So that became my shtick. You know what I'm saying? My thing. And my name's Doughboy. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that became the thing. You know, I could give a fat joke. I could take a fat joke. You know
right.
what I'm saying? Whatever. So that was the thing. Then as I started to lose weight, I couldn't rely on that anymore. So then I literally, like a lot of time I was spending on death, I started creating this character that was stupid. It was almost like an airheaded type of situation. So now I'm just, you know, playing stupid and I'm playing this different character. But the messed up thing is I do this all the time because
Right.
this is my job. Now
Right.
I really think I'm stupid. Now I really don't know who I am. So that was the third thing. And then the
Yeah.
fourth thing was what happened to me last year in May when I got diagnosed as bipolar.
Mm,
So that was just jarring. It was scary. It was,
yeah.
wait, what do you mean? I got to take medicine for it. It was just so scary. So fast forward to right now, June 1st, or I don't know when you're going to air this, but it's June 1st, the day that we're recording it. So June 1st,
Hopefully in
2021
2 days.
now. Right. So where am I at now? Like, what is the transition I'm at
Mhm.
now? I want to live a sober life. I want to finally get down to 225. You know how close I was to 225. And then when I got sober, I gained like 30 pounds. It happens, but whatever.
I'll go
So
see.
I'm going to get down to 225. So that is the second thing. The third thing, I need people to take me seriously. I'm a comedian. I'm not a joke. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, so, and then the fourth thing is
Laugh at
just,
your jokes, but don't laugh at you.
yes,
Yeah.
I'm not the joke.
Right.
The jokes is what I'm saying. And
Right.
then the last thing is just, you know, to be able to live a fully healthy, normal life dealing with bipolar. Like you know, and I talked to you because you were one of the people that I told before I actually went public
Mhm.
about this. And you know, and I don't know if you remember the conversations. I was so embarrassed. I was just like, I don't want anybody to know.
Not with me though,
No,
right?
no, I was embarrassed for people to find out. I
Okay.
didn't want, that's why I was like, hey, don't tell nobody
Because of
about
the
this. But
stigma. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's like it gets you stigmatized. But what I do thank God for more than anything is the platform that I have to be able to use it for more than what it was originally intended for. The same reason, like I get a bunch of like I get a lot of messages from, I don't want to call people fans, but people that support
Yes.
my content. The majority of comments that I get or DMs that I get is people telling me, hey, bro, I've been watching your content. I got sober. Hey, bro, I've been watching your content. I lost weight. Hey, bro, I've been watching your content. I'm now being open and telling people I got a mental illness. So that's my biggest thing. Like I'm one of those type of people, especially with the alcoholism thing. That's a disease that thrives in shame. It only wins because people are so ashamed to have it. And I'm starting to really see that in the Black community with mental health too. And like, I don't want to come off like I'm trying to be some spokesperson or I'm trying to get a book deal. Like, no, I'm just trying to say, man, if somebody tells you that you bipolar, you ain't got to walk around here being scared. You ain't
Yes.
got to be scared of yourself. You ain't got to be scared of opportunities that you're going to lose. Like, nah,
Therapists
that's
are the
just
boogeyman.
exactly. That's just something that you deal with. But when I was going through the things that I was going through and people were saying all these terrible things about me, it was finally when I realized, like, at the end of the day, though, this is your life. Like
Yes.
we're living it right now. Like this is happening. So you might as well get everything that you want out of it. So now I just want people to just take me seriously. Like even though I'm a comedian, like I'm serious though. I'm serious about my business. That's why I'm so happy about all these different ventures that I'm starting. Like I have a sobriety podcast that's dropping this Friday called Minister Sobriety with my close friend Shantae Wayans. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I got Justice League with my boy CT. I got Worst Take with Try and EQ. Like I got, just I'm back into doing parodies. I'm back to what makes me happy. And this is the thing that I also want to say. And I know I'm all over the place with the things that I'm saying, but
No, that's
hopefully
okay.
it all makes
There's
sense.
it makes sense though how you're putting it together.
Right. What I'm saying is this is one thing that I definitely want to talk to, somebody needs to hear this. I don't know who, but somebody needs to hear this. So they diagnosed me as bipolar, right? So I remember it was the scariest thing ever. It was, going to a psych ward, seeing things that were very scary to me. And I just being like, man, like what's going to happen when I leave here? Da, 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 right. So last year was so tough for me. I was just sad. Like I was really depressed, making more money than I had ever made randomly, but I was so upset. I was just not myself. Like,
You're saying money didn't make you happy?
money did not make me. And I was making more of it last year than I made in any other year.
I hate it when people who have money say that, but it's so
no, but it's real because if you're
like,
upset, if you're sad, if you've lost things that meant something to you, the money can't give it to you. So I remember I thought, and this is where it will take a kind of like a serious turn, but it's okay because I'm comfortable talking about these things. Like I was suicidal last year. Like there was times where I was just like, I don't want to live anymore. Like I'm over this. I'm over how this feels. I'm over the public perception, the public scrutiny. I'm over how my signals seem off in my mind. And plus I'm drinking every single day. So to be able to be going through such a dark time like that, like I couldn't even figure out what was up, what was down. It just felt dark all the time, right? So then finally,
and it's COVID.
And COVID, and we was in a pandemic.
And
like
that little
I
thing.
got everything that could have happened. Everything that could have happened negatively last year happened, right?
Yeah.
So I go through all that, and then I remember it was around December 10th. I was like, DoBoy. I remember because I was sitting right there in front of that mirror. I was drunk, and I was throwing up, and I was on the floor, and it was sweating out of me. So I was sitting in a puddle of sweat and vomit. Sorry, I know this graphic, but this is what happened. So I remember looking in the screen, and I was looking at the mirror, and I was just like, "Do, bro, you're gonna die. You're gonna die. Like you gotta stop this. You're going whatever this bipolar thing is, it don't mix well with you drinking. You only got you know what I'm saying? You only got to be wrong one time in your life, and you're gonna need to stop." So at that point, I take accountability. And that was the point where I stopped pointing with the index and I started pointing with the thumb. I don't care about what nobody else did at that point. It's like, you know what? This is what I did. I messed up here. And I started to take accountability for my life. And I said, okay, I'm going to get sober. So I remember going from the 10th to the 25th and I didn't drink. So it was 14 days. I was like, yeah. And then I drank the day after Christmas. I don't know why. I just did it. And then I was just like, you know what? I'm going to let myself drink a little bit more up until the end of this year. And then I'm going to leave alcohol in 2020. I'm just going to leave it. And I haven't had a drink then. But this is the point that I'm trying to make with that whole long drawn out story. Now that I'm 5 months, now I just made it to June, right? And now that I have a little bit of data to go back and look over my life, because I think it's always remiss to make decisions or statements when you don't have enough of a sample space to look at. So now I can say, okay, I have been knowledgeable of being bipolar for 1 calendar year. right? So now I could look at it and say, okay, I got told I was bipolar in May. In June, I relapsed. From June to December, I was drinking. So that's not a great sample size to look at with the bipolar stuff, because
Right.
it's like, okay, you're drinking though, like, and that's a depressant, and it loops you.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So
And
now
you
I
weren't,
have
if I could say this, and you weren't consistently taking your medication from what I remember.
never, no,
Okay, yeah,
wasn't taking no meds. I was trying to, but even when I would try, you're not supposed to mix the meds with
exactly.
the, you know what I'm saying? So fast forward to this year, okay? And didn't still don't take medicine. And I'm not, that might be the wrong thing to say, because
No,
some people should,
no,
you
I
know.
always say that though, but I think
Uh,
don't lose your train of thought, please. I
okay.
always say a disclaimer after I say that.
Uh,
I'm a huge advocate of
mm,
at least ruling out if you don't need it. And I think I even said it to
right.
you. I'm like, if you do, that's fine. But there's such a connection between body, mind, and your physical body.
Oh yeah.
I do believe, this is not me saying that nobody needs medication, but I do believe that sometimes you can correct your mind with your
Absolutely.
thoughts, because
Yes.
I can have a panic attack based on what I think about for the last hour.
Right.
So I love, because I didn't know that. I'm hearing this for the first time. I
Right.
love that you are in this space and that you're not, and I'm gonna say this, okay? Please don't lose your thought.
That's okay.
I feel that many people are overdiagnosed with bipolar disorder.
Hey,
I actually had
you might be
someone
right.
professional tell me, and I've never said this publicly, never. I told you, I've never said this publicly. I was diagnosed and I did not believe it for 1 second. No, I was going through an extremely stressful situation that was causing me to show emotions.
Right.
I know very well people who are bipolar, and it is a thing that you cannot control. A lot of
Right.
times, if you have something that you're battling with emotionally, it comes out that way. So I
Oh
just
no,
had to like
absolutely. No,
jump on that. But
absolutely no. And shout out to you for opening up, telling your truth and living in it. I'm with all of that. But no, that's the same thing that had happened to me, because at the time that I ended up in the psych ward, May of last year, there was so much personal stuff going on. I couldn't explain it.
you can't
I
break
was,
down. It's like
yeah,
you're breaking down in your body.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so I remember I was in the living room, and I remember walking back and forth, and I looked down at my Fitbit, hadn't left the house, 26,000 steps. I'm like, something's wrong.
Yep.
People were starting to get scared. But the main point, what I learned, so what I learned about mental health in the past year, because I had to take it seriously for the first
Oh,
time,
I
right?
love this. Yes.
So what I had to understand is that it's almost like a car, right? A car is a car is a car is a car, but there's a bunch of little pieces that make the car run. And if you rip one, if your battery's dead, the car's not even going to start.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? So you can lose things like you. So there's different things that work in concert to make the vehicle work at its optimal thing. I believe that us as human beings were the same way. I think that, and this might be controversial when I say this. I believe, and let me be careful when I say it too. I believe that medication is important and more important for some individuals than others. But I believe that there is a bunch of other things that play a factor into your mental health, i.e. exercise, i.e. diet, i.e.
proven.
i.e. sleep, i.e. sugar intake, i.e. getting sunlight, i.e.
What you
meditation,
watch, what you take
watch,
in. Yes.
stress, the people around you. So
Yes.
but this is the biggest thing that I
You
learned.
just give me chills. Preach.
Peep this though. What I learned was this: of all the things that had me ailing last year and hurting and suffering, guess what I have identified was the most powerful component of all that?
What?
Me stopping creating. When
Wait,
I
so it led
stopped
to
creating, because that's the only X factor of what's different now outside of the alcohol. I work. My work makes me happy. My creativity is my medicine.
I didn't understand that. And
No,
I think it's your
I
purpose.
stopped work.
I think it's your purpose. If I could piggyback.
Yes.
When
Yes.
you don't have your purpose, I'm literally getting goosebumps. I wish I could like close up and see this.
Hey, man.
I feel that a lot of people are depressed. I'm not saying clinically, but they're depressed. They're not happy because they're not on their purpose, and they are chasing whatever other things that they think are going to make them happy. But when you figure out your purpose, you feel so alive. When I hurt my back, I don't know if you're aware, but I hurt my back. Like maybe it's
Yes, I seen that because you was
right?
working out, then you had to stop working out for a little
Oh
bit.
my God, it was horrible. And I lost so much weight. Anyway, but
You look amazing still. You still look amazing.
thank you, thank you. But when I was doing really great, and I have not had struggles with depression for years. When I became debilitated, when I say debilitated, my child had to take me to the toilet. Like I could not lift my pants. When I say I was almost paralyzed,
It was real.
the pain,
It
it was
right.
bad. For me to not be able to just freely do what I want, grab a camera, do what I want. I couldn't even brush my hair to get on camera, like because I couldn't lift my back was in so much pain. I started to lose it. I started to crack. And I remember going in my bathroom and I was like, allowing myself to cry for a second. And my little girl, you know, my little baby, she came in and she said, Mommy, she's so my daughter. You focus on the fact that you have two eyes and a nose and a smile. Like she was trying to say, focus on the positive. Right. And it was like her saying that kind of made me just go, talk yourself out of this. And that
is something that I've had a therapist tell me, that if you have a negative thought, replace it with a positive.
You have
to. She knows something.
I felt myself spiraling. And at that time, I literally did not know if this was my new normal. Nope, no pun intended. Right. I didn't know if this was going to be my reality and I was going to be bedridden for the rest of my life. I didn't know if I was going to get better.
You were scared.
I was so scared, but I knew that if I let my brain go wild, like a freaking wild horse, I would lose my ish. And so what you're saying is so crucial. And I really, really want people who are struggling to get this, because I think more people struggle than don't struggle. And it's not cool to talk about it. Right. But I'm going to look dead in the camera. If you are struggling, instead of going first, unless you're over the edge and you feel like you're going to hurt yourself.
Right. Unless you feel like you're going to be a danger to yourself or somebody else, then you want to call 911 immediately.
Exactly. But try this first, or maybe in addition to, so that you can wean off, but find out what makes you tick. And I took a whole year of yes in 2017. I said yes to everything I could possibly say yes to within reason. And I just explored and I wanted to see what my world was like. I switched up my circle. And sometimes you need that reboot. And sometimes you reset. It reset. That's what I'm going to say. Thank you. You need a reset. And sometimes if you are coming of age, like you're just getting out of high school, you're just getting out of college, your formative years, everyone has told you who you are. And it's all about surviving in high school and everyone telling you who you are. You have to have a period of time where you figure out who the hell you are.
I'm so glad you said that.
You know what I'm saying? Because, and especially if you jumped into a relationship, you are defined by who your person says you are. So you need to figure out. So all these people are running around and they don't know who they are. Yonci doesn't know who Yonci is. DoBoy doesn't know who DoBoy is, you know, and it leads to duress. And then you try to self-medicate with whatever it is, party,
whatever makes you feel better.
Right. But you haven't found your thing that you like. So
right. That was the thing that I took from last year, other than, you know, than anything, was just like, no, this is what I do. And so now that I'm back doing it, I'm lit. I mean, I don't mean to sound cliche. I'm back to my normal self. I don't feel, and don't get me wrong, I still have, you know, I don't believe I'm one of the people that's misdiagnosed. I absolutely believe I have it, but I just believe also that I manage it. You see what I'm saying? I don't run from it. Like I got a tattoo on my arm. You know, I got a bunch of tattoos. I remember when y'all was roasting me for my Whitney Houston tattoo, but I had put faith and fear cannot live together on my arm, because I heard it in a gospel song one day and I just was like, I never want to forget that. Yes. So the fear is like poison in your mind. It's just it dirties the water and it just makes the whole filtration system bad. Like you're not supposed to be fearful of nothing. The only thing you're supposed to fear is God. Like God didn't bless you with a spirit of fear. The wild thing is, like when I was talking before, right? And I was like, yo, growing up, I always felt this thing that I didn't fit in, right? I didn't feel like I was a part of my own family. So the wild stuff is I come to LA and as an adult male, this is the important part about not checking childhood trauma soon enough, right? So I was a person that did not feel as if I belonged to a family, right? My own family. So as an adult, all of my choices have been predicated and moved and devised around of me trying to build the family that I feel like I was never a part of. You know that therapists say that a lot of us in our adult years are just spent with us trying to fix the things that went wrong in our childhood. Like, like people who, might have dealt with, DV situations, or, what I'm saying, stuff like they want to grow up and be cops to protect people. Like how, like stuff that happened when you were young, you see it. So I'm going through all of these things as a young child, and I'm not a part of whatever this family is. So that I come to LA, and then everything, like a lot of the people that I worked with in the beginning, I started looking at them as my family. Like, this is my family. You're my family. You're my sister. You're my brother. You're
You
like
put
my
a lot
dad.
on
I
that
put so
relationship.
much pressure. And then when whatever things fall down, for whatever reasons they fall down, and that just happens, I didn't take it like it was a business thing. I took it like not only as this once again happening to me, and I feel rejected by my family again, but this is happening in front of hundreds and thousands of people. So it really pushed my head around in so many different ways. But what it taught me was, you are like, this was God forcing me to come to him. Like I tried to run everywhere else. Like, oh, well, this person got me. Oh, they ain't work. Oh, but this person. And every
Don't make
place
me shout right now.
I'm telling you, I feel like God ran to every door that I went to and locked it. And said, no, it was like, no, come talk to me though. Come talk to me though. Oh, you want to go over there?
How he works.
I'm
Everybody I
telling
talk
you.
to.
I'm telling you, and not for nothing, even with something like the new normal, under regular circumstances, maybe it works, maybe it's perfect, but for whatever reason in that season, God was like, nah, no. And what it did was, in the time that it's happening, I'm sitting here like, man, I just hate being me. But what it ended up doing was, it makes you start to appreciate and love yourself. And that's the only thing I never did this whole time. I loved everybody else. I trusted everybody else. I put on for everybody else. Never learned how to love myself. 2021 is the first year that I'm finally like, no, I love me. I love me enough to want more. I love me enough to attract more, to treat myself. Like, I don't feel like an act of love to my body is drinking a bottle of poison every night. No, like that was the thing. Every time I quit drinking, before I quit for other people, I quit because I was in a relationship. I quit because I wanted my job back. No, I quit this time because I want to live. I want to add an extra 30 years to my life. Like, and once you can start to matter like that, then this whole illusion of us making it or being successful. No, I'm successful because I can look in that mirror every day and love the person I see. I can say, I serve a God that let me go through things publicly, look a whole mess. And God still was like, nah, I got you though. I still love you. You're going to be fine. And then when I went through all of that, all of the people that separated themselves away from me and didn't want to be around me, I ain't even tripping no more. Old DoBoy would have been like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to show them. Now I'm just like, man, I love y'all. I hope y'all do great things in your life. And it took so much of that, because if you let people live in your head rent free, you're going to get evicted out of your own mind. So I finally had to just be like, you know what? Point with the thumb. Like, let me take accountability, responsibility for everything I did. Let me not even speak about what other people did. And I could. And that's, I want to say, and I know that I'm all over the place. I don't mean to.
No, you're totally linear. Yeah.
That's the thing that I think that I was starting to get very frustrated about, when everybody would run with fake narratives that weren't true, and I didn't even go out there and correct them.
Yeah.
Like I'm a person that talks so much, and I'm not wrong. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I could literally like really be like, you know what, really, but no. Why? Because if I do that, that means I'm trying to fit in to what people think about me. And what people think about, I don't care. Like, I get to wake up every morning and look at my beautiful daughter in her face, look at my girl, like look at my dogs, look at me. Like, I'm so happy in whatever it is I have here. I don't worry about the other stuff. But you couldn't have told, if you would have tried to tell me this 8 months ago, I would have cussed you out. Like, shut up. I hate everybody. And this is wrong. I was wrong.
Oh,
like, but no.
No, we used to have conversations like this.
And I couldn't let it go.
Like, I'm literally listening to you. And the reason why this is crazy is because the whole time I'm thinking, like, this is a different person. Because as you said, I've never known you sober.
Right.
So I like, I immediately connected with you when we first met, and we would have very candid conversations offline, you know, and it was like, I just felt like you don't see your worth. You don't recognize how beautiful you are, what amazing person you are. And I would hear you spinning your wheels in the wrong direction. And it's like my heart would break for you as a sister. So it's like I'm seeing it, and then hearing you articulate it is just, it makes my heart so warm. And this is like, I want whoever's watching this to understand there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I truly believe, I truly believe that the way that God works is this. We have this thing when we are disconnected, right? Like when you're a baby, you have the womb and you have the umbilical cord. That umbilical cord is there to give nutrients from the mom to the baby, right?
Okay.
When the baby is born and the umbilical cord is removed, that doesn't take away the desire to get nutrition.
Ooh.
You still need the nutrition. But if that baby tries to, you know, just play with a toy, or tries to take a nap, or tries to do all these things to suppress that feeling of hunger, they're gonna die. They're gonna actually die until they recognize, oh, this feeling is insatiable. Unless I eat something, you're gonna die. And emotionally, when we are born, you know, in this earth, this is what I understand, is that we are disconnected from that spiritual umbilical cord from God. But He says, look, I'm here if you want me. I'm being a gentleman. I'm not gonna shove
all you
this
got to
down
do
your
is
throat.
eat. Just come eat.
So you think like, oh, if I have enough sex, I'm gonna fill this void, or if I get famous, it'll fill this void, or if I have enough money, it'll fill this void, or if I'm accepted, I'll fill this void, if I get skinny enough, it'll fill this void. And you literally run and run and run and run and run, and like you said, He will close every single door so that you finally are like, let me try that last one down the hall.
And and it's
you
such
open it and you're like,
oh, it's so chill here. And I'm telling you, like, even with like the weight loss thing, like I had to stop even being on myself, because it's like, no, come on, bro. Like, stop being so hard on yourself. Like, yeah, okay, you gained a couple pounds, but you know what? You got sober too. And guess what? You was just 240 a couple months ago. You'll get back there. You know what to do. Like, it's
and it's
not
just
never
the enemy
nothing.
trying to take your joy.
I'm telling
Like,
you.
I feel that this is the other part. This is what's so crazy. Like, I was raised in a Christian home, but I didn't really understand the deeper principles of faith. And a lot of times, you know, it's kind of taboo to talk about faith in public platforms, but I think it's because a lot of times faith is correlated with judgment, and it's like heaven or hell, good or bad, right?
It's just scare tactics.
Yes, but when you actually have a relationship with God, what you realize is He's a fatherly figure.
Yes.
And He gives you the intangibles that life cannot. He gives you love, joy, peace. They say like passes all understanding. He actually gives you wisdom. He gives you all these intangibles. And all you're doing is you're recognizing that He holds this full bounty of goodness. And you just ask Him daily, hey, Dad, can you give me what I need for today? And it's this thing that you can't explain unless you try it yourself. And you just walk around, you're glowing. You're different. And it's like, my life is so different. You know, my situation. I don't have a lot of means. You know, I am on faith trying to make this and make a living off of this. And I have tried, you know, try was integral in me getting to even this apartment and all this stuff.
Right.
But I have so much joy. Like the things that other people would think, why is she happy? I'm driving a beat up car, ripped up seats. You know, we do very modestly. I wear the same doggone outfits every single week. Like I don't have this huge wardrobe. I'm not flashy, but you can't tell me nothing.
Nah, but you got peace, and I can even see it I can even see it, because one thing I remember about, you know, when I first met you, you know what I'm saying? I contrary to popular belief, I have plenty of memories, but I remember meeting you. And that sounded crazy. Oh God.
Psychopath the day you met me. I was like,
no, but I remember when I met you, because you were still working your job. You were still working the job and you were trying to get it off. And I remember having a conversation with you and kind of just, you know, being like, look, this is what it is. This is the thing you got to understand. We only get one life. We only get one crack at this life thing. Like you don't like, and the crazy thing about it is we all live like we know when the clock gonna stop. You don't. You know what I'm saying? Everybody think that they're gonna get old, fat, and move to Miami. It doesn't happen like that. People die every day. So you might, and the wild part is that people spend their whole lives doing things they don't even want to do anyway. So just, you got to understand that the handcuffs is off of you, because who cares? Like
Bro,
I
I
go through
come
stuff
and go
too.
whenever.
And don't ever let me get up here and act like listen, I go through it too. But you know what? I wouldn't trade it for nothing because I love this. I bled for this. Like I put it on the line for this. And you know what? There was a time when I was working the 9 to 5, the nose to the grind. I never got no disrespectful things for anybody to say about that because that's what I was doing, but I was not passionate
And we
about
need
it.
those
I didn't
people.
love it. And
Yes.
this is another thing you got to think about. Like, you guys just think about life like this. It's like time is the only thing that really matters. Like time is the one valuable, that's the only thing that neutralizes all of us. Like I don't care about your money. I don't care.
On
Time.
your deathbed, everybody talks about time. How did
I'm
I
telling
spend
you, my sister used to always tell me because my sister has lost quite a few people, and she's talked to people on their deathbed. And the thing is, like a lot of people on their deathbed, the number one emotion that they all distribute is regret
Yeah,
for not pursuing the passion, for
they
not
wasted
going after
their
the
life.
girl. And
Yeah.
that's why I'm saying, like, don't like when you even say like, I love the way that you frame it, you're like, hey, like, I'm going through stuff. I'm this and this, but I'm doing what I love because like I said, you can have all the money. Like I had so much money and I just was like, it didn't even matter because I
Nope.
was like, I'm not happy. I
Yep.
don't wake up with the same drive that I used to. I don't wake up excited about content.
Wait
And
a
I felt
minute.
like,
That feeling when you wake up and you're
come
like,
on.
because you've been depressed, right? When
Oh
you're
yeah.
depressed, you
Oh, I
literally are
can't
like
get out
this.
the bed.
You're like this. Oh, damn, I woke up again. Like
I'm here
literally, oh,
again.
damn,
I'm
I woke
here.
up again.
I'm
And
here
how
again.
long is this day gonna be? And you just can't
I've
wait till nighttime. When you have your passion, you like
I
this.
cannot wait to get
Oh,
up. I
yes.
cannot, I'm telling you. And that's the thing. Like, and now, like, this starts to happen with me when I start to get really excited. And I have to be cognizant of this
Mhm.
because I am a bipolar person. Like, I get so excited, I can't sleep.
Me too.
Like, I'm just like, I'm watching my video. I put up a Fat Drake video a couple weeks ago, and I remember just watching it like 30 times. Like, is everything
Yes.
right? Like, because I care about it so much. Like, I'm writing jokes. I just wrote my first movie. I'm going over it. Like, maybe I could change that last scene. Like, it's an exciting time for me. So I have to. But that's what passion will do. Passion. I don't need no alarm clock when I'm passionate. Like, I'm
Literally.
just gonna get up so I
Yes.
can get after it because I don't have a lot of time. Like, I gotta
You
go.
don't want to waste. Yeah.
I don't have time to waste. And so that's the thing. So I just think that that's, if nothing else, I want people to hear, when they're hearing this conversation, because I hope that this, I hope that this does great numbers. And I hope people, because I feel like this is a necessary conversation, but I hope that what people walk away from it is that, come on, man, like live your life the best way that you know how, because eventually, spoiler alert, nobody makes it out of this alive.
I
So
always
do
say live
what you
out loud. Like
do
do
it.
live your life in all caps with exclamation point, whatever
Come
that
on,
means to you. No,
do it.
I'm gonna do this, okay?
Yes.
You
Are you gonna
you
do this?
rattled what was that?
Are you gonna do this?
That's the old no.
Oh
Okay.
no, I'm back.
Okay. So you rattled off your projects, but that's on my list of what I want to
Mhm.
ask you.
Okay.
Give us, and I'm gonna put a little, if you have any graphics, I'll put them up here.
Okay.
But give us a list of what you're working on. Tell me why you're excited about each one and why you got into it, okay? Because I want
Yes.
people to follow you. If there are 2 people left in the world who don't know who you are, I want them to start following you. And where can they
Yeah,
find this stuff? So
got you. Okay, so all the stuff I'm
just
about to start
plug.
plug it. I'm about to plug everything. So, the first, okay, so everything that you can find is on my YouTube page. Okay, I am DoBoy TV. Okay, there's a few different things I'm on. Number one, on Mondays I drop a podcast called Worst Take. It's with Try from New Normal fame and
New
EQ.
normal.
And it's kind of like what we had alluded to, like one of the last, because we were gonna do that, and that's another thing I want to say. Like we were gonna do a sports podcast in addition to the
Yes.
new normal. Just because Try's one of my best friends. We just like talking sports. So that's like a barbershop feel. We just talk trash. We be smoking our blunts, we cuss. It's a real fun. So if you want to hear like some barbershop talk on some sports, you can go to Worst Take. You can find that on my page. And we
The
do one
stuff,
episode.
I was
Huh?
gonna, the stuff that you guys said before we started taping. I
Yes.
sit there and
We're
they
always talking. Yes. So that's that. Okay. And then so that drops every Monday on my page. And we are going to be doing more episodes weekly, but that's all. You can find that on my page. And you can go to the Worst Take Sports Show YouTube page as well. Okay, that's on Mondays. Wednesdays, I have another podcast with my good friend CT Clayton Thomas. It's called the Justice League. Now, this is my baby. I love Justice League because I'm rocking with genuinely one of my best friends in the world, CT. Known him, he was so instrumental in everything in my life. Like I met him back in 08, 09. He was one of the first dudes that told me I was funny, told me to move down here. got me the audition for Wild 'N Out. Like he's just, and so
Oh,
we have so much chemistry and a good time. So if you haven't checked out the Justice League, please do yourself the biggest favor, check it out. That's also on my page. And you can check out the Justice League podcast YouTube page as well. Then on Friday, the first episode, and I alluded to this before, Menace to Sobriety. My good friend Shantae Wayans, we talk about our journey of navigating through the industry, being sober from alcohol. Have to say alcohol because I do smoke my weed. So then boom. So that's on that, and that'll be dropping every Friday. So then that's that. And then outside of that, I just wrote a movie. I wrote a series for my partner Craig Smith called Virtual Marriage. They're about 3-4 episodes into a 10-episode run of that. I'm working heavily with my homegirl Precious. Me and Teddy Ray got some new stuff coming out. We got a new smoking challenge coming out. So it's just a lot of stuff, and you could just check me out just on my page. It's just there. It's just happening. And the biggest thing about all of this is that even though, I love every humble subscriber, I'm creeping up on 20,000 subscribers. I'm almost at 19,000.
hey.
So, it just means so much for all the things that I've done in my career. I always did them with other people and on other people's platforms. The first time I'm really building my own, it's just cool, man. Like I can't wait to have that first viral video on my own. So it just means a lot to me. And I'm here for the slow build. Like I ran out of my expectation of whatever I thought Hollywood would be. Like I'm cool. I was never the dude that was in it for the bread. Like, hey, I'll take a couple millions before I get out of here. But I just want to just do dope stuff with dope people. And I
But
feel
think
like
about this though, when I hear this, right? I feel like everything that happened was kind of like dress rehearsal because it got you
yes,
to where you needed to be. And I feel like right
absolutely.
now it's a starting point of sorts,
Oh yeah.
And it's like, what is it called? The studio,
The studio, the show,
you
the show
guys
that I wrote.
go back and watch that. Okay. Google it.
And
That's like
that's getting shopped right now. So that might be, I don't want to say where that's going to be going, but that may get picked up by a really big station, knock on wood. We're in
I'm telling you
negotiations for
guys,
that.
watch it. I legitimately, okay, so the reason why I watch this, I have no parts in it. Okay. So don't think I'm plugging it because I have
I got to put you in some stuff though, because you're a great actor and you have an amazing look.
I appreciate you. So I remember when I'm working with Doe, right? And I'm not in the comedy, like I don't know anybody. So it could be the biggest guy in comedy and they could walk by me. I don't know. So when my buddy Try, who was like a brother to me at the time, was telling me, hey, we have a show. I got a guy. I wanted to do my research and kind of who's going to be my co-host. So I'm going, just kind of stalking you a little bit online and looking. So I start watching it just so I can have some reference points. I'm legit in it. I'm like sitting back, pissed when it's over. Like, when you see a good episode and you realize there was only one season, you're like, oh, literally, I know that's going to be one of those, just dropped my phone. I know it's going to be one of those stories of like the little engine that could, or you hear about somebody who's like, I literally wrote this piece 12 years ago and it didn't get picked up until whatever. That thing was just so good. And I'm a big
Thank you so much.
Cinematography nerd. Like I am a nerd. I traveled all the way to Dallas because I met a videographer and I just wanted to see his set and he got like, I'm really into it. Okay. Anyways.
Right.
But the lighting, the sound, the script, and this is the thing. So many people I feel, and I know I'm going on about your show, just deal with it, okay?
No, I love it. Keep going. I wasn't going to stop you. Please keep going. How would I stop you from this?
They try to go for the obvious joke. Like when you're saying, being overweight, it's obvious to do a fat joke, okay?
Right.
But to me, true comedy is when you have nuance. Yes. True comedy is when you can make the silence funny. Anyone can do like the
blah, 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 blah. Right? Yeah.
It's the pause, it's the look, it's the angle, all the stuff that you guys take for granted if you're not a big nerd when it comes to filmmaking. If you are a nerd, you'll recognize this. Other people will just be like, oh, it's funny. But I realize it's funny because you thought it through. The storyline is interesting. It's just
thank you for catching that. Because as geeks in this, we just want people to see the hard work that we put into those little moments. So thank you for that. And side note, as you
go ahead.
No, as you were talking, I actually got this project that I've been BSing on writing, but I'm about to write it. I don't want to spoil it because I don't want to give it away because I know somebody will take my idea. But I have a perfect role for you in a series that I'm going to be doing. It's an 8-part series, and I know the exact role. So you'll get a call and you'll just get an offer like, hey, this is what we need for, because just as we were just talking, I was like, what do I see her? And I was like, oh. she's my such and such. So
Yay, I love
I
that.
think I got something for you for us to, and I'll tell you offline what it is.
Okay. And this is something that it made me think about too. A
Mhm.
lot of times we see that end result, right? So let's just say you, I don't know, whatever your goal is, you have this end goal in your mind, or maybe it's a dollar amount or something like that. And I feel like the world, I talk about the systems of the world, which is the messaging that's anti God, meaning it's opposite of his messaging, but
Mhm.
they teach you have to go after that thing. And that thing becomes like your idol, so to speak.
Mhm.
And but the idea is that you're meant to enjoy the arc. Like that's just something that's kind of guiding your direction. If I'm going to Vegas, okay, that just means I'm going to start heading east on the 10
It's
or
really about the
whatever.
drive down is
It
that you're gonna get the
really
memories from.
is.
Mhm.
The playlist, the friends in the car, the view, like that's just the thing that you're focused on. But the
Mhm.
irony is that if you're allowed to, if you figure out how to lose yourself and
Mhm.
you don't make it obsessively about that end thing, it all happens anyway. So me
Absolutely.
just going out and living my best life and pursuing everything, I meet you, you know,
Mhm.
you giving me this opportunity. It wasn't me having to knock down doors and
Mhm.
try. What's meant for you is going to come. And when you have to manipulate, you have to lie, you have to be deceitful, you have to try to finagle
Mhm.
and compromise, that's a pretty good sign it's not meant for you. What's meant
Facts.
to be is going to come. And that's the beauty of like just living this surrendered life where you try to be a good person, you
Mhm.
try to do unto others as you would have them do unto you, and do
Mhm.
what makes you happy. And it just, I mean, it sounds so hokey, but it's really true.
No,
Everything comes into place.
it really is. And I'll even go a step further because this is what I actually just had a conversation about this yesterday. Actually, today. And I was actually talking to Shantae, right?
Yeah.
And I was just telling her, I was just like,
Shout out to Shantae, by the way.
yeah, that's my sister, man. I love her so much. But I was talking to her, right? And I was just like, I get scared sometimes because I am a bipolar person, right? And I've been suicidal before. So I sometimes get scared like the next time that this comes, will I be strong enough to talk myself? Like, how will my mood be? How will I get out of that? And she said something very, very profound to me. And it
Mm,
made so much sense. She was just like, you're preoccupying yourself with a situation that hasn't even presented itself yet. You could do that, and you could do that about every area in your
yes.
life, and you'd probably never get out of bed as
Yep.
long as you just. And so that connected with me so much because even what I learned in my sobriety, right, I don't ever think about being sober for the rest of my life because that's too big of a thought. It's like,
Yes.
hell no, I can't do that. I
Yep.
don't even think that I would want to try to say that. But can I be drunk? I mean, can I be sober until I go to bed tonight? Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's much
Bite-sized, palatable
easier.
thing.
And
Yeah.
when you really think about it, because I learned this last year too. My anxiety comes from thinking too far in the future, and my
Mhm.
depression comes from thinking too far in the past. And when you really think about it, you don't have any control over either one of those
I'm
thoughts.
sorry. Will you say that again? I'll be like the lady in the church.
Yes.
You said
So
my anxiety.
comes from looking too far in the future, and depression comes from looking too far in the past. Seriously, because it's like I look back at all the stuff I messed up. I'm depressed. I think
That
about
is
all the
so
things. But
poignant,
but the
though.
thing is, this is the thing. The deeper part of that is knowing that you don't have any control over either one of those. So you might as well. This is all you got control of right now. You don't know what's going to happen.
So poignant.
Hey man, I'll tell you, I'll be trying to be deep here and
You're
there.
stressing about what's gonna happen, and
Come
you're
on.
feeling bad about what already
And you
happened.
can't control neither one of those things, but you can
No,
control right now. You
right
can control being happy right now because that's all.
now.
You don't know what's going to happen when you get off the phone, whatever. We don't know. We
That
don't
is
know.
the point.
So what's the point of getting so worked up about it? And that's where mental illness can come from too. You just overthinking. Just
Yes.
chill.
And this is where and really I want you to watch my one of my first videos. It's called Mind Control, and I'm doing like some weird little thing for clickbait
Mhm.
dramatic effect. But
Gotcha.
it really is kind of this moment. You know those old like cringe movies where the person's flipping out and they're like,
Mhm.
"Get it together, Linda," whoosh, and they're slapping.
Uh-huh.
I feel like everybody needs to learn how to have that proverbial
Absolutely.
telenovela slap, because when
Mhm.
you catch yourself, and for me, I have three physical manifestations. It's either a
Mhm.
lump in my throat, it's a
Mhm.
palpitating heart, or a
Mhm.
knot in my stomach. If I feel any of those, it is literally like an alarm, like when you hear the fire drill and everyone ducks under
Mhm.
their desk. For me, I'm like, hold up, I don't act stupid and like go
Mhm.
crazy, but I just excuse myself and I have a talk. It's like
And
I'm
just
like a
reset it.
hostage negotiator
Mhm.
talking to the person off the ledge. And you have to calm down. And I'll give this example because I don't like to be vague. I like to be very specific so people can identify in their own life. I have a situation right now, and money is not taboo for me to talk about. I'm not balling out of control.
Right.
If I look at my expenses and I look
none of us are, by the way, but go ahead.
Okay.
Trust me, you're not alone. You're not alone in this.
Right. If I look at my expenses and I look at like what's coming in on a regular basis, it doesn't make sense. Like right now, I should be flipping out. I should be starting to put out my resume places because I'm about to be a year having quit my job in next month. Okay.
Right. Wow, that's really
Isn't that insane?
that fast.
You were literally there when I came in. I was like, I quit my job. Yeah,
right. You did a little dance.
Yes, with my lanyard. I sold my lanyard. Woo!
Right.
Anyway, so I'm freaking out because my car keeps just breaking down. And every time I go, it's 300, 400, 300, 400. It's so much. I took 3 Ubers today. It was like $60. You know, it's not making sense. And I'm having situation after situation that keeps coming. And as I'm coming back to my house, I'm not trying to make it a boring story.
No,
but
not boring at all.
It seems like every time I catch myself flipping out, I literally say, it's going to get resolved. It might not get resolved in this moment, but everything always gets resolved. And am I going to squander this moment worrying about a future moment? My situation that I just dealt with which is why I kept having to push the interview today. I had a storage unit. Some of the things, I had so many things. I'm trying not to tell someone else's story.
Right.
Let's fast forward to this. Someone did me really, really dirty. My things ended up in storage. Half of them got thrown away. And when I went to go try to get my stuff, the person tried to say, well, there's an unpaid balance of $3,300 plus. It was $3,300 something. I just looked and I had already made peace with just walking away from my stuff because I've already separated from my items. I'm like, whatever. She just pauses. She has the most non-expression face. She said, don't worry about it. And I was like, wait, like, she's like, don't worry about it. And I thought she was trying to finesse me because she's like, just sign right here and I'll release your stuff. I pulled my camera out. I said, can you say that I can't?
Wow.
I don't think you understand. My bill is $3,300 because someone put it in my name.
Right.
And she was like, just, can you get it out in the next couple of days? I was like, bet. Then I'm trying to get my stuff out, right? My car breaks down. You know, I have an SUV. So I was planning on using it was this whole thing. So everywhere I went, it was like an angel stepped in, someone volunteered, a random dude stepped, like everything I needed just kept coming. And I laughed and I called my cousin. I said, you have to woo-saw. Everything is going to happen the way it's supposed to happen. And it's a facade that we do have control. And I think the sad thing is that when you do have a lot of money coming in and you're having a lot of success, you start to think that you are in control, but the reality is you're not. You know what I mean?
And the quicker that you surrender to that ideology, the easier it is. Like I always tell people this, and I the last time I did this was maybe like in August, right? When I was in Mexico. Take some time, go to a beach, right? Just do it. Just go to a beach if you can, if you live close to one. Just go to a big body of water if you can. This helps me, right?
Fill up your tub if you're not near.
Right, whatever, right? But if you go and you look at a beach, right? You're looking at this beach. I remember, like, I was just looking at it, and I was just watching how like the waves would go, right, and they would just come, but they would come to the beach, but they would know not to come too far. It would just come to a certain, and it was just all said. Then I looked around, I looked at the trees, and then I looked and I just think about things that are just as serious as like our digestive system or all the animals that must be in this water and all God's vast creations. You think you asking God for a couple $1 million in a great career is a difficult thing for him to do? It ain't. It really ain't. I'm telling you, it really. And then this is the thing that I noticed. I want to show you this for a fact. And I know we're running over on time, but who cares?
I know. I'm about to break this into 4 parts. This is gonna be a whole series.
So look at this. So you see how I shift this, right? You see what that is behind me, right?
I love it.
That is a vision board, right? Because I put together my life, right?
Mine's up here.
I'm telling you, I have that, and then I have my specific goals that I write out, right? So that's what I say all that to say. You can have, okay, quick story.
Yeah.
2011. So remember what I told you happened in 2012.
Yeah.
But what I'm telling you happened in 2011 is probably more important, right? New Year's Eve 2011, going into 2012, I make a vision board. On this vision board, I put different things, but for the context of this story, put 3 important people on the vision board. Put Nick Cannon, I put Russell Simmons, I put Dr. Dre.
Oh
The
my
first three people to hire me in Los Angeles, in Hollywood, Nick Cannon, he put me on Wild 'N Out. Dr. Dre, because I did a Beats by Dre commercial that I subsequently got cut out from. It was with Nipsey Hussle, rest in peace. Dr. Dre. And then Russell Simmons, who's now literally one of my best friends, like great dude, gave me a job, gave me 10 grand when I lost 200 pounds.
wow.
So what I'm saying is this, what I learned from that situation was this. Everything that I asked God for, he gave it to me. I said, could I get on Wild 'N Out? Yeah. Can I be head writer at All Def? Yeah. Can I, make X amount of dollars? Yeah. Like everything, the only thing that, you know what I'm realizing now in 2021 on June 1st, you know what I realized as of recently?
Yeah.
I just didn't ask for enough.
I love
I
that. Somebody
shortchanged
did
myself. I didn't,
to me like that. Like
I
you
didn't even,
realize you didn't ask big
I
enough.
didn't ask for enough. I could ask for 100 million after taxes. Why can't I ask for that? That doesn't mean I have to get it, but I can ask
Right.
for it. I
There's a
can
Bible
work
verse.
towards it.
There's a Bible verse I think is so sweet. And I actually had to read the Bible growing up, but as an adult, when I reached my depression and I too had very suicidal thoughts, not that I wanted to die, I just did not know how to live anymore. It was
Right.
just,
You just want you want the pain to end, and that seems like the
stop.
only resolution. Right.
I wanted it to numb. So I read this verse and I was like, I realized that God he's kind of funny the way he writes. Like,
oh yeah,
that stuff that just sounds like almost sarcastic. But anyway, he says, if you as an earthly father like love your kids, and it said, and you're evil. I think it's literally you're evil. Like, what you think God's gonna do?
Come on.
That's literally what the verse says. Like,
right.
you and your mess, because we're flawed because of sin. And just go with me. He said, if you in your effed up state, if I can paraphrase, please don't strike me. But if you in your effed up state can love your kids and provide for your kids, and if they ask for something, you're killing yourself to give it. What you think I'm gonna do? That's why I get so pumped up. Like, you guys can see my IG where I need to get back to it, but I used to put my little gospel songs or whatever. I get so pumped because I'm like, y'all don't understand. Like, I got the ultimate plug. Like
the ultimate plug.
The ultimate plug. So,
and that's why I don't be tripping off none of the other stuff too, because I feel like God's finally giving me a piece. I ain't tripping. Like, I don't care who don't like me. And I even tell people, because you know how this is such a messy industry. Like, people want to come up to me all the time. Oh, well, I heard, don't tell, you ain't got to tell me what they said about me. They told you, and they told you for a reason, probably to come and tell. But no, I don't even be involved with the opinions that other people have of me. Is none of my business.
I love
who I care about. Like, I gotta look my daughter in the face every day. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have to look myself in the mirror. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't be worried about, like, man.
As the lady said, ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got no time for that.
Oh my God. It's so funny. And I jokingly refer to my list because I always have a list as something to lean on, but ideally the conversation just flows. But I'm laughing because I think we covered 2 out of 20 things that I wanted to talk about, but this is what was meant to talk about. And I love that we did this. I honestly did not know, because we've both been really busy and we haven't talked that much, but maybe an occasional.
And I was tired before I do. I want to be on record for saying I was absolutely tired, but you're my friend in real life, so I don't stand my friends up. But I was just like, nothing. Listen, nothing about a conversation was I wanted to have. I was just tired, but I'm just like, no, this is her and I try to make the rule: if people ask me to be in their content, I try to take it just as seriously as I take mine.
I appreciate that.
Try to be a better friend and a better business contact for people.
So, this was so tired. We've been out in a storage unit all day. I was hot. I was exhausted. I sat down, scarfing food. I had to do like a coaching thing right before. I was burnt out, but it's like, I feel like it was meant to be, because I feel like if we did it any earlier in the day, it just wouldn't have vibed, and we would have had to cut,
so because I would have had other stuff to do. So there's no way that we could have had, I think that we've talked for almost 2 hours at this point, but there's no way.
No, but
because because even when we were texting, we were supposed to go at 4.
Yes.
I had a 5, I had a 6, I had a 7. So I was just like,
everything happens the way it's supposed to. And if you had stressed out, if I had stressed out, instead of saying, it's not like I'm over here, drunk and I can't get it together. I'm like, I can't do it. I had legitimate stuff that came up. So it's like, if you just surrender, this is like a perfect real life example. You surrender. I truly believe that was God saying, no, you need to be a bookend to this day, because I don't want you thinking about your coaching thing. You got to wrap it up. I don't want Doe to be worrying about what's coming next. I truly believe that somebody is going to watch this and needed to see it. And I was joking about breaking it up, but I'm going to put it in multiple parts so that people can digest it. But I'm so grateful that
I wanted to tell you something before we end this.
Oh yes, of course.
I want to tell you something.
Formal thank you after.
Right. But I just want to tell you this, and it's just important for me to just, kind of stop it, streamline for 2 seconds, and just let you know something that I feel about you. Don't be scared about nothing. And now I'm just going to talk the way that I feel like you need to hear this. So this might be God, and I might be a conduit to say this to you, or maybe not, or maybe it's just me being weird. I don't know. But don't be afraid of nothing. You're a very, very talented young woman. But above all of that, you're a good person. You have a good heart. You know what I mean? And it's okay to, to mess up. You know what I'm saying? We all mess up in life, but you have good. I feel like God looks at the ones who don't do it on purpose. Sometimes we just, we have our things that happen. But one thing that I've known since I've met you, and, you were a little, scared about it last year. Like, yo, I don't know what. Don't worry about it. Like you just said, like, as long as you trust God, he got you. Keep believing that you got to just keep going. Don't, don't focus on anything to the left, the right of you, the behind you. Just keep going forward. You have 2 beautiful kids that are looking up to you. Your daughter, I've been around her a couple of times. She looks at you like you are her shero. So the world is watching. So just keep going though, because I'm gonna tell you, like, straight up, 2014, June. So 7 years ago, literally, I was homeless. I was sleeping on my homeboy's couch. I was 450 pounds. Yeah, I had a couple of seasons on Wild 'N Out at that point, but I hadn't even started working for All Def. None of the things that I had done for All Def, none of the other podcasts that I would start, none of those things. And I didn't know. All I knew at that point was I was 450 pounds. I was subsequently ballooned up to 486 by the end of 2014, sleeping on somebody's couch, working at Allstate, not knowing how it was going to work. That was my last for real job. You know what I mean? But all I knew was that I had a dream and I just couldn't let it die. So don't let your dream die. You're going to be fine. You have great, people around you. You have great family around you. You have God, that number one, is around you. And you have good friends like me in the industry. Like, you're going to be good, but just don't let it get to you. Like, one thing I don't want to hear you say again, moving forward. No, you're not going to be going out putting in applications and resumes, because you're going to be fine. And whatever's supposed to happen will happen. And you just got to believe that, because the man that believes that he can and the man that he believes that he cannot are both 100% correct.
Yeah, I like that. And I appreciate that. I really do. I really do.
You're a dope person.
I really appreciate that. I think as time goes on, I'm starting to stop questioning so much, because I used to try to really see, like, I don't see what other people see, and just keep moving forward, because I think it's probably a blessing that I don't see it totally, because I'm like, why are y'all rocking with me? Okay. I just kind of try to accept it now, but I'm excited. I think this is awesome. You didn't have to do this, especially for 2 hours, but I appreciate it. And I would like to ask those of you who are watching, if this content, affected you in some way, please comment, because it is helpful to us. I always say it's like tipping your waiter. But it's just kind of this encouragement that you're doing the right thing, and it's not for naught. So I would like to hear, we're in our society, I think you were talking about doom, like, people like the negativity. I can't remember how you rephrased it, but people, I feel like, will comment so much more on negative stuff. And so if this was something that helped you, let us know or share it with somebody, because a lot of people are privately struggling. When I was at the height of my depression, I was together. When I went to see a doctor, I went to like an ER. I didn't like who you talk to. He literally did not want to take me, because he said, you don't look the part. Like I was supposed to be disheveled, like hair all over the place, house shoes, whatever. And I'm in 4-inch heels, hair is done, makeup. So there are a lot of people around who you might not have any idea cry themselves to sleep every single night. Might be the people smiling the most. You just don't know. So I appreciate people like you who are able to be vulnerable, and they can see, not only has he struggled, but he still has struggles. He's every going through, and this is real life. And the end of the day, it's still going to be good. So absolutely keep hope alive is what I'm
Come on now. 100%. I love this conversation. This was a dope conversation. And whenever you want to have me back, I would love to be back. I like talking to you.
Don't tell me that because I got some other questions. I have some funny questions to ask you, but I'm like, we'll save that for when.
You can bring me back. You got access to me whenever you need me. So you can
love that.
Whenever you need me to. And keep doing your thing. I'm proud of you and what you're doing with your channel. And I'll definitely make sure I grab a clip of this whenever you're done and you know, throw it on my page to, you know, try to direct some traffic to you as well, because I want to see you growing your stuff. If
you haven't done so already, please hit the like button.
Do it.
If you haven't subscribed, do it now or I'll send Doe after you. Okay.
And I will pull up. You knew this.
I love that. Until next time, you guys, tell someone that you love them. Thank you.
Yeah.